Here's where the fun begins. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zereth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about 501st and the faction with General Skywalker. So this is, we're not going to be talking about 501st with Shaak Ti, clones with Shaak Ti, whatever. Shaak Ti is not going to factor into this. We're also not going to include Ahsoka Tano, even though she fits on the team kind of. She's 501st, she has synergies with all of them. She is much better in other places in the game, and you are doing yourself an enormous disservice if you're not farming ARC Trooper. If you don't have ARC Trooper yet and you have the rest of them, you need to rethink your life just a little bit and go get ARC Trooper. Seriously, he is a really important part of this team, and Ahsoka cannot do the things that he does. She's needed elsewhere. Go find another 501st, and that's ARC Trooper. Okay, so we're going to talk about how this team's mechanics work. There's a ton that goes into it, frankly, guys. I've already done a couple shoots, and I could take an hour to explain all the mechanics. So I'll show you guys, I'll demonstrate a few different fights, and you'll see a lot of them in play. I'm going to mention a lot of them. We're going to talk about what ZETAS to get and why you should be applying them, and we're going to talk about how to mod them. Then I'm going to show you 3 different examples, practical examples of how to use this team in real life. Get you guys out of here. So I just want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel for free, all you've got to do is hit that thumbs up button or leave a comment in the comment area. Hit that sub button if you haven't yet already. Would really appreciate it, guys. All the support has been amazing. We're trying to mount the algorithm, and it's been working, guys. The channel keeps growing and growing. We're well past 10K now. Well, halfway-ish to 11K, and it's been amazing. You guys have been awesome, and you continue to be awesome. Let's jump in and actually start talking about this faction. Whoa, madness. We're in BlueStacks again? We are in BlueStacks. It's madness indeed. We've got General Skywalker first, guys. He's got 4 Zetas. The only one that is up for debate. The other 3, absolutely just apply them blindly. Don't even look at what they do. The one that you can maybe debate is the one on his basic. So the way it works is he always attacks twice, as long as he's not dazed. If he's not dazed, he'll attack twice. With his basic, he'll hit with his basic, and then if you don't apply the Zeta on here, then he'll attack with his basic again. And that neither of those can miss. They can't be evaded, I should say. So I guess he could miss under other circumstances, like if he was blinded, I guess, but one way or another, he can't miss with those. However, if you apply the Zeta, it gives you an ability called telekinesis, which telekinesis, it becomes a special on him, and that's fine, I suppose. The telekinesis is also so it can miss. That's the thing that people debate, is with the basic, you can all of his attacks do certain awesome things. One of the things that happens for all of them is if your opponent doesn't have protection, if the guy he hits doesn't have protection, then you reduce their max health by 20%. So they have 100k health, suddenly it's only 80k. And if you do that twice with his basic, then it's 80k, then it's 60k, and that's a huge amount against that. It just knocks them down really quickly. And that works with telekinesis as well. That happens unless the opponent has foresight, in which case you hit with your first and that you do whatever result, and then you do your telekinesis as your second attack, and that one can miss against foresight. So people say no, don't put the Zeta on. They think they're being fancy, and I guess I can understand the argument, but telekinesis is actually really good, because usually in almost every circumstance you're going to be using his main attack first, his big attacks first, his specials, in which case you're going to have armor shredded your opponent, one of them, and you're going to have dazed a lot of your opponents if you've modded him well, if you've targeted them the right way. And so let's see, telekinesis, Let's see, so it will, if possible, it will critically hit enemies with armor shred, which is really nice because critical hits also increase your opponent's cooldowns, regardless of what their attack is. So having a guaranteed crit is nice, and if the target enemy is dazed, you can reduce his ability cooldowns by 1, which is really nice as well because you want to get back to using those big hits as soon as possible. So you have an AoE daze, you have armor shred. His leadership is basically saying that he's better with 501st. Everyone in 501st gains stacking offense based on how many buffs that their opponents face or have, which is really nice because it helps them kill Jedi. Actually, ironically, that's kind of a fun in-lore kind of thing where, I mean, Jedi stack so many buffs, and then he takes his 501st and goes and takes them out because they've stacked too many buffs. They've been irresponsible. The biggest mechanic here, it's really tough to explain and just look at the words, but essentially, he becomes a taunter with a locked taunt. You can't kill anyone around him, just him, until he's sitting down. But the way you sit him down is take all of his protection off. You can't actually kill him unless you have some kind of an auto remove ability like Nihilus is Annihilate or Disintegrate from Mando. Then what happens is he sits down and the rest of the 501st that's with him can take damage. Finally, well, they can take damage to their protection the whole time, but their health can't be touched. Once he is down, then you have a few turns before he can stand up again and start the whole cycle again. Before he stands up, though, if you can kill a clone all the way, then they stay dead, and that's how it works. There's also no revives under his leadership, and so you can end up in a weird situation where you can take 501st with a different character or with a different team, like Shock T or something, and then you can just add him plus a bunch of just randoms, and because with his lead, it's just all units can't be revived. That includes his own, but he also makes it so that if you can take him plus, like, I don't know, an Empire team, which has no overt or obvious synergy, but as long as he's the lead, he'll still stop, like, Night Sisters from reviving or whatever. So it's worth thinking about, guys. Sometimes you just want him for his lead and nothing else. But remember, if you don't have 501st here, then you're not going to have as many cool interactions. You know, he also gives himself extra crit damage, even though the whole rest of the team doesn't really care as much about crit damage. There's a few different cool things, but the main thing about his lead is it makes it so that when he can sit down, he stands up again. He stands up a lot faster these days because of the new rules that they've imposed. But we really, guys, we can't, I could spend 10 minutes just on this, so we're not going to. There's a bunch of other cool things, guys. So he increases cooldowns whenever he does a crit on anyone, except for maybe Galactic Legends now, and let's see, enemies attacking out of turn can't critically hit, which is very nice, because, like, bounty hunters, for instance, can't gain their bonus turn meter from Mando because he can't critically hit out if he's called to assist. He can critically hit when he is attacking on his own turn, but by then he can't just disintegrate Skywalker unless you've already got the contract. You can do that. It's very, very difficult to beat this team with bounty hunters, though. It takes a lot, and you can lose. Even the best bounty hunters can fail against it. So something to keep in mind. You also, this is the ability I was talking about, it reduces the max health of people. You also have so he has a 100% counter chance when he's with all 501st. He has more critical chance when he's with 501st, and all kinds of stuff, guys. The other really important thing, though, here is when at the start of the battle, he also gains 15% max protection for each 501st ally that starts with him, so an extra 60% protection, and remember, that's the stat, plus defense. He's gaining another 25% defense, so in 3v3 it's less awesome, because he's only gaining it from 2 different clones, but in 5v5 he's gaining it from 4, and it's fancy. So here's the thing, you want him to take as long to fall down as possible, as long to sit down as possible, but you also want him to hit like a truck because he is kind of a truck. So get him Relic 8 because he's a requirement character anyways, or get him to Relic 5 or 6 or something. I don't know. Don't let me tell you what to do, but here's the thing. I'll show you how he's modded. You want him to have focus on two main stats, but then a couple other secondary ones. First off, you want offense, and you want, I guess, very first off, you want protection. Second off, you want offense. If you can do those two things, then amazing. Get a little extra defense, potency, and as much speed as you can pack on as well, if you can. But speed is actually less of a priority just because he has turn meter gains from Rex. He's also getting hit a lot and hitting back. He doesn't take a ton of turns regardless of how fast he is. His speed is nicer with other Jedi teams, but I don't put a high premium on speed, and you'll see he actually does just fine without a ton of speed. So you can see I have offense primary as the main set, and then defense here just because we don't want him to sit down, because there's no protection set here. So we have the offense set and the defense set, and then here on the square we prioritize protection, and because there's already offense here, and apparently I kept rolling this one, and I was really hoping to get another roll on protection, to be honest. Here again on the diamond, you have more protection than you can. Like, this is a really nice mod for him because he doesn't care as much about speed, but he does care about his defense, which, that's a primary, so you want a 6E mod on here, and then you want potency and protection if you can, because you want all that daze to stick on people. And then protection, obviously, to stay alive. And then protection primary on all the rest of them, so you want to prioritize offense if you can, and a little bit of potency if possible. So you can see I have another roll on offense. I should probably slice this at some point. We'll do that sometime. And then you can see I don't even have 6E on these other ones, because protection, once you boost his protection a little bit here, I mean, gosh, this is awful. I've just noticed there's no speed on this one, but that's how it works, guys. Apparently, I went through and changed all the mods, and apparently I just forgot about about speed on this one. But like I said, I don't actually know if I'm gonna switch it. We'll see. It's not a 6E, so I could probably pretty easily do that, but it does have offense and defense and potency. It's kind of a nice little trifecta, just no speed, and then protection primary. Again, protection here with offense, and there's nothing else. No awesome speed. No awesome speed on this either. It's a protection arrow with offense set. Really rare, weird mod with defense and potency, and eventually I can probably get more speed. I also have a decent amount of protection from secondaries there. So lots of different things going on. His speed should probably be a little bit higher than this, frankly, guys. I apparently was very negligent on the cross. I'm not sure what happened. I refreshed this right before we did this, so it's my own bad. But, But in principle, this isn't bad. Just need a little speed here, and you can't fault me for potency, defense, and offense on him. So that's basically it. I'll show you the total numbers. So his protection is 137. That's probably a pretty good number for him, and his damage is 9373. Also a pretty decent amount. You can get better, but probably save your absolutely god mods for other characters. See if this works. Alright, so we're 5s now, guys. 5 sacrifices himself if they kill one of your team beforehand. That's a Zeta that you need, though. You need to apply that Zeta. I think that the sacrifice Zeta is the more important one. The other one is giving you turn meter every time someone on his team gets hurt. So he's actually in some ways the fastest character. He's also got a really nice ship that you want. He's a character that's great to get Relic 8 for as well. Obviously, I haven't done it yet, but it's because when he dies, he sacrifices himself and gives stats to his entire team, and all of the relics that he has are included. So nice tank. You don't want to taunt with him. One thing I would recommend is not applying the Omega here, because if you don't, then he can't taunt on his own, which is nice because you don't want him to taunt. You want him to not taunt, and so with General Skywalker, he doesn't taunt. You want General Skywalker to take all the hits, and that's fine, but then when General Skywalker does sit down, you want your opponent to kill a different clone, so that then 5 sacrifices himself, making your own clones, super clones, And if he's taunting, then they'll just kill 5s instead. The AI is pretty dumb. They'll usually kill like Rex first, but they'll follow the easiest path. And if you taunt with him, then it's a big then it's a fail. So this cover fire thing, you don't want to taunt, but you still want to be able to call people to assist with it. So I would advise not applying the Omega. I'd apply everything, all the other Omegas and all the other things. And the Omega does help his ship a little bit, just because Omegas, all of them, it all contributes to helping the ship, but probably worth not applying in this case. However, the way you mod him, pretty straightforward, guys. I mean, there's a lot of different ways, but we're just going to go over the pretty obvious one. Just health and protection. Oh, one thing I want to point out about General Skywalker. You don't want a lot of health on him, because one of the biggest counters to him is going to be the Rebel team. And, you know, Rebels love to do exposed damage. Exposed damage is all based off of your max health. And if you reduce your max health total on General Skywalker, and on 5s for that matter, and the rest of them, then it's going to be harder to counter your General Skywalker team. So lots of protection, as little health as possible, and you can do some cool stuff. So on him, for the most part, we're just going with lots of defense, because he can be really tough to kill, especially if you put him on offense. It's just nice to be able to have a guy that's tough to chew through. Or on defense, it's tough for the Rebels to get through as well if you put a lot of defense. Well, maybe not tough, but you can see I've splurged a little bit. We've got some percent health here. I mean, even throw on some percent offense, because when he sacrifices, he also gives all of his offense numbers to his friends as well. So you can put some speed on him. You don't need much speed though, because he's gaining, the majority of his turns are going to be because he's gaining a lot of turn meter over the course of time, because they're hitting your allies. So protection, and that's basically it, guys. Protection, I think you could take away the health if you wanted to. It's not really that big of a deal. You could. You probably want a pretty nice factor of more protection than health, though, just to make it more difficult for an opponent's like Malak to get through to him, for instance. And yeah, that's 5s. Next up, we have Arc Trooper. Relic 8, pretty nice, especially once he's Relic 8, because he's a pretty simple guy. He does more damage with his special than his basic. He has a summoned arc turret, which he can let one other person shoot, but when they shoot, all the damage that's done with that arc turret is all based on one stat of his, and that is offense. The rest of it doesn't matter. Remember, he personally can do crit damage. He can crit, but the arc turret does true damage, and it's all based off of his offense. Even if he lets Rex shoot the gun, when Rex shoots the gun, it's using his offense, not Rex's offense. So you want, as you might imagine, and that gun assists every time one of those guys moves, and therefore Arc Trooper wants offense on the cross and speed if you can. Like he can be pretty quick if you want to. You want speed with offense on the triangle. He wants as fast of a speed arrow as you can get him, but offense if you can, as the primary, and then as much offense as you can as well. So you can see I have 6E on all 4 mods that have offense stat, and then offense secondary. I mean, this isn't much offense. We'll roll it a little bit later, but I'll probably find a better mod for it, to be honest, before I give him a 6E. And then this one also doesn't have any offense. It should, though. We'll look into that as well. So overall, more health than protection. I guess that's to be expected, because we're not giving him any survivability stuff. My speed is right around 280. You can make him faster. You don't probably need to make him that much faster. Don't give him a speed set or anything. And then my damage is, a little shy of 12,000, which is, I think that's probably respectable. Remember, he can crit, so it's fine to have some crit chance or whatever, but you just want to maximize the damage from that turret, because it's going to be going off so often, and it's true damage, so that means it can't be crit. It can't crit anything. So we have there's our trooper. He's just a guy who does damage. Echo is a guy that you want to do kind of a weird set of things. So one of the things about him, his grenade is really cool. It can stun droids, and it dispels all debuffs or all buffs. And his unique Zeta is the one that makes it so that if he misses someone, then they still take damage. They still take 20% of their max health, even if so when an enemy evades an attack from a clone trooper or 501st ally, Echo deals damage to them equal to 20% of their max health, which can't be evaded. So it's like if they have foresight and you miss, then they still take 20% of their max health damage, which is kind of nice. It's not absolutely essential. That's why it's the final Zeta to apply on the team, but it is pretty nice. He also assists whenever someone uses a basic. One in their 501st, when they use their basic, he also assists, which means that he is a lot of times going to want to have the arc turret, just because if you are just using a basic, he's going to assist, and then the arc turret is also going to shoot at the same time. And so that's a pretty nice thing. The other thing to keep in mind, though, folks, is the EMP grenade can stun droids, which is really nice because one of the biggest counters to this team is Commander Luke, and Commander Luke team does have 2 droids. Chupio is a droid, and therefore, if you add extra potency to him on his mods, then he's going to be able to stun them sometimes. And if you stun Chupio or 3PO, that can really, really mess up that Commander Luke team. And so, getting some offense on him is nice, of course it is. But in addition to that, also, just consider some potency. A potency set and then a potency cross is probably not too much to ask. And then otherwise, just offense, and you can do a crit damage triangle even though he does special damage, and that special offense or the special crit chance is really, really low, because in his kit, whenever someone else on his team crits, it means he's going to crit as well on his next attack. So as long as he has other people on his team critting, then he can crit. So, I have a speed arrow on him. You could probably put an offense on him. I don't have him super fast. This whole team does benefit from being more speedy than I have him equipped, but that's not the absolute focus because you have a lot of other turn meter things going on with this team. So, Echo works well. Rex, I think, is the last one. You just want him super fast. He's the one who gives turn meter to everyone. He eventually builds up to have the Rexecute. People call it Rexolate for no reason. Rexecute makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more clever, and I don't understand why it's called Rexolate so pervasively in our community. I know people are gonna try to explain like Rexolate, it's like Annihilate, but what? Why do we have to apply that? It doesn't make much. Like, why isn't it Execute? Like, why doesn't that make more sense to me? To people, I'm always baffled, but I'm probably not making a great argument right now anyways, because I'm trying to get to the actual footage. But here's the thing, guys. His Zeta is also decent. This is the second one that you would apply, right? Or the second final one that you would apply. 501st Ally or Clone Troopers reduce their own ability cooldowns by 1 at the start of their own of each of their turns. That means that Echo can spam his grenade every other turn, and it's nice. This is a very nice ability to be able to do that. So remember, it's other 501st Clone Trooper abilities, so you don't get closer to his Rexecute with his Zeta. The other clones get it, and it's of limited use just because 5s eventually dies, and then he's dead, so he can't use it. Plus, I mean, his specials are fine, but Echoes is really nice to have. But then Arc, it's like, well, okay, that's nice to be able to assign the turret to someone else if you need to, and it does a little more damage. That's fine. it's limited use, but being able to make Echo just throw his grenades a lot is really nice. So the biggest thing about Rex, the only stat that actually matters on him at all is speed. You wanted to get him to right around 310 speed. It starts making bounty hunters almost impossible to use to be able to counter him, to be able to counter this team, unless you use like Zam, and Zam even makes it more difficult. She does a lot of weird things for that squad, or against this squad. So remember, 311 speed is nice on Rex. The thing is, he's also plus 20 speed because of his unique, which gives him plus 4 speed, and all the rest of his team as well, plus 4 speed for each 501st ally present. And so that means he's going to be plus 20% speed. So if you want to do the calculation on what speed he is, you take his speed times 1.2, and that's what his speed is. And that's the speed you can use to be able to take down like Darth Revan. If you see that Darth Revan is, 350 speed, for instance, then you know that Rex needs to be whatever his speed is. He needs to be faster than that Darth Revan so that he can immediately form up, which is the thing that gives everyone extra speed or turn meter on the team, and then he can, once he does that, then you're going to be able to have the rest of the team go before Darth Revan goes, and you profit. Alright, pause for a sec because BlueStacks is acting up, but we don't really need BlueStacks anymore, guys. We're going to jump straight into some fights. So follow me to the fights, or just don't, whatever you want to do. Okay, so the first fight is going to be against Darth Revan, and this is a video that I took a while ago. It's actually, it was called my mid-game guide. I'll try to link it, actually. It's about how to use General Skywalker against a lot of different teams. This was before they nerfed General Skywalker, so not as good of a guide anymore, not as relevant, but still works, and you can see my setting is a little bit different up top. That camera, you'll see my mouth moving. You won't be able to hear me, at least that version of me. That was over a year ago, I believe. And so this is the old version of General Skywalker. A lot of the same principles still apply against Darth Revan. So let's get started, and I can show you guys. What's going on. I think I fight Darth Revan, in this case, live. So what's going on here? So first, Rex gets the first turn. He's going to use that form up ability that gives everyone on his team extra turn meter. So the form up is the middle ability. We want to be able to take out Bastion. Granted, remember, this isn't against like the very best Darth Revan team. It's not. It's just not. Frankly, this is the best example I could find. Unfortunately, under really short notice. So anyways, he forms up. Everyone's got turn meter now. So Arc is going to, people give me crap about it, but I really like having Echo with the turret, because whenever Echo assists, then that turret is also going to assist. So you hand the turn to Echo, and here I'm showing the people, of course, what targets we want. We don't want to trigger Malak too soon, so we're gonna shoot Basti. We got to take out Basti as quickly as we can. We don't want to throw the grenade yet either, because that grenade might crit Malak and make him taunt. We don't want that to happen. We want to take out Basti before Malak has any say over the fight at all. So we just do basic. And then with fives, we can call someone to assist. So we can call General Skywalker. We can call whoever. General Skywalker is a pretty good one, though. And so now General Skywalker, we have to make a decision. Do we want to just use basics, which won't do an AoE, or do we want to do an AoE and potentially trigger that taunt from Malak? So you just do a basic here and try to take out Basti. You can see we didn't quite take her out before Darth Revan got a turn here. And remember, the dynamics are a little different. Skywalker used to do more damage, and Darth Revan would be doing more damage as well in this circumstance if he had full Sith Empire here. But none of that is happening. Okay, so finally though, General Skywalker does sit down, and we've killed Malak in the process. That's great. That doesn't always happen, but now we get 20% of his protection back every time one of our 501st takes a turn. In this case, it's only 10%, because remember, this is before the nerf or the change or whatever. And so now we're taking out everyone besides Darth Revan, because Darth Revan we can't assist against. So, in this case, as long as we took out Basti, that's wonderful. And, if Malik was here, he would just be cutting us to pieces until General Skywalker stood up. But you can see where they finally do kill one of our clones, but they didn't actually kill the clone. They just they would have killed the Echo, but everyone's shocked, so they can't heal their health. But the jeez, look at Palp just killing everyone like that. What a boss he is, because everyone had reduced health. Dear Lord, yeah, we can use the execute at least. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it works nicely, nice enough. You can see that this is on my alt, and it wasn't against the best Darth Revan team, or using the best General Skywalker team for that matter. But I think this is all relic 0 on my clones, in fact. Anyways, that's essentially how that matchup works. Let's actually go to the next one I'm more excited about. This is against Jedi Training Ray, and granted, this is not the best Jedi Training Ray team, but this is against a really well-modded Jedi Training Ray team against a really good player, and it gets more and more dicey the better the Ray team is. Well, we'll just say that, but I'll show you how it works, though. So this is with the new General Skywalker. Now, we could use the form up thing to give us all a bunch of turn meter. That is absolutely an option. But the idea is Rey is going to do her whirlwind pretty soon and sit General Skywalker down. She can't just kill him the way she would a normal character. But once she does do that, we want him to stand up as quickly as possible right after that. So we're just going to shoot. We're just going to hang out, let Rex eventually, gosh, Rex only has his basic available right now. He's got ability blocked, which is super lame. That veteran Han AoE is just so nice, folks, super nice. So anyways, there we go. So she does her whirlwind, sits General Skywalker down, and now we want Rex to take a turn as quickly as possible to get us more turns with 501st as quickly as possible, so that the 501st will be able to all stand up before, or so that Skywalker will be able to stand up before Rey starts going again. So we do this, and then actually the way it timed out, we didn't actually need to do that, so that it was kind of a waste, in fact. But we're just trying to wait in between, like do damage in between when Skywalker is standing up, and then when she eventually sits us down again, we'll just try to stand him up again as quickly as we can. So there we go. She's in her ult. She's going to, once she is done with her ult, once her ult actually hits, she'll sit General Skywalker down again, and then we've got to be pretty cautious. So don't want to do the Rexecute yet until, she didn't even quite sit Skywalker down because it's all spread out between so many different people. So there we go. Killed one of the tanks, and now I shot Holdo one time more than is necessary. But okay, so she does the whirlwind, sits us down again, and now we'll just continue on. And then, okay, I've made a mistake here, guys. Look, he has foresight. You can miss with this Rexecute attack if they have foresight, and so I did that, and it's embarrassing. So there it is, folks. Embarrassed. And okay, so stand General Skywalker up. Rex is mortified. He's both ability blocked and stunned right now. So yay for him. Trying to get another person down. Holdo, of course, not playing along. And yeah, I mean, it takes a while to get through this team sometimes. And I think this is only like the second or third time I've actually tried this particular fight. So, I've since done a lot better. Remember, there are a lot of other teams that make this team comp a lot more difficult to actually pull off. But I mean, if you're desperate, it generally does work. Remember, if it's Rey Cat, it's also doable. You just have to be really careful, because once Cat gets all of her cooldowns, then she's she's able to just kill Skywalker right off the bat without having to sit him down. And so, gosh, now we have to wait until Chewie is actually out of his damage healing, whatever, yeah, damage immunity. So we're just hitting Rey for a little bit, put the armor shred on her, get her into damage immunity. I guess she was already in damage immunity. May as well use the Rexecute there, and she sits us back down once again. And don't taunt with fives, of course. Now we're just waiting on you, veteran Chewie. When you gonna take a turn, bud? There you go. Finally took a turn, and we can finish him off. So that's how it works against Rey. Save that form up from Rex, even if it doesn't always work, time out the way you want it to. That ended up panning out for me. So that's the old school banners. I only dropped 7 against not a great Rey, but I mean, it was fairly cheap to take out a Galactic Legend with 501st. Finally, let's go to the one that I think is my favorite. So this is last season, actually. Look at the team that we're taking down. So it's Jedi Master Kenobi with Relic 8 on General Kenobi, Relic 7 on Skywalker, 7 on Ahsoka, Relic 8 on Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda on this team is all kinds of problems for the Jedi Master Kenobi team, however, because General Skywalker, remember, he gains, his entire team gains +2 offense every single time a buff on the team appears. And so, yeah, we're waiting for me to take my sweet time. Push the play button. There we go. And we're off to the races. The whole, this whole team, like, if you want to clench a lot, folks, this is the right team for it, because, okay, so we can't gain bonus turn meters, so we're doing the form up just so that we don't get, so we get tenacity up, so we can't be debuffed, which, I mean, they don't have that many debuffs anyways. I don't know what I'd probably just push that button out of reflex, to be honest. But look at how many buffs they have already. Like, they have all the foresight, they have all the other things. If you want to clench, though, to continue that, just wait until Skywalker sits himself down, because then it's like, does my entire clone team die immediately or what? It's pretty terrifying. So Echo throws his grenade and does a little damage because everyone had foresight, and now we can just call Skywalker, and you can see we're already doing some crazy damage because of all these buffs. But yeah, we're sitting down. Hopefully they kill one of our clones soon. There we go. They killed ARC Trooper. So 5s dies, gives everyone else a huge speed boost and health and protection boost and damage boost. And look at that. Echo's just about dead. But finally, Skywalker stands up, and I mean, even if Echo died, I think we'd be okay. But look at how much damage we're doing here, guys. Remember, Skywalker, I think this is only Relic 5 Skywalker. This is on my alt. And look at how dumb the AI is here, guys. So now they can ignore taunt because they have Kenobi's ultimate, and that's normally really nice, but they're hitting clones that can't be damaged right now, further damaged at least, because Skywalker is still standing up. So, you know, Yoda gets all these buffs and spreads all the buffs, and that just makes my whole team way stronger. It just kind of cracks me up. So I was like, you know what, why don't we hit Kenobi for a while and just let Yoda hang out there and give us more buffs. So, I mean, this is a fully relicked Kenobi team. Just remember, I mean, in some ways, it's just a cautionary tale of don't put Kenobi on defense without Cat, without General, or without Commander Ahsoka Tano. Like, you can do really good work on offense, but on defense, you need Cat. So, you know, pretty good banners. All things being considered, I think that dropped 7 total. And yeah, that's some of how the team works, folks. I mean, We could go on forever. This team is a pretty complex team, obviously, but hopefully this helped answer a few of your questions. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zereth prevails.